What's up, gist lovers? If this is your first visit, you might as well subscribe because once you hear today's Nollywood update, you definitely want more. Settle in, the drama is premium. Now, have you ever been so excited about something that you couldn't hide it even if you tried? That moment when your face lights up like a Christmas tree and everyone around you can feel the energy radiating off you. Well, that's exactly the situation we're dealing with when it comes to Brian Okwara and his reaction to working with the legendary Mommy Nancy again. This man didn't just casually mention it in an interview or drop a subtle hint on social media. No. Brian went full-on fanboy mode, gushing about this collaboration with the kind of enthusiasm usually reserved for winning lottery tickets or finding out your favorite restaurant is offering free appetizers. The internet has been buzzing ever since he opened up about what it's like to share screen space with one of Nollywood's most respected veterans, and honestly, his excitement is so contagious that even people who've never watched a single Nollywood film are now curious about what makes this pairing so special. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into why Brian Okwara is absolutely thrilled, what makes Mommy Nancy such a magnetic presence on set, and why this collaboration has fans losing their collective minds with anticipation. Brian didn't beat around the bush or try to play it cool when discussing his co-star. He straight up admitted that every single time Mommy Nancy's name comes up in conversation, his entire energy shifts to another level. It's not the polite, professional response actors usually give when talking about their colleagues. This was genuine, unfiltered enthusiasm that you couldn't fake even if you had an Oscar-worthy performance ready. He confessed that just hearing she'd be part of a project makes him immediately more interested, more motivated, and honestly just happier about showing up to work. Think about that for a second. In an industry where people sometimes have to pretend they enjoy working with certain individuals for the sake of professionalism and public relations, Brian was out here being completely transparent about how much he genuinely looks forward to collaborating with this woman. It's the kind of authentic appreciation that reminds you why some partnerships in entertainment just work better than others. There's no pretense, no manufactured chemistry for the cameras. Just a younger actor who genuinely respects and enjoys working alongside a seasoned professional who's forgotten more about acting than most people will ever learn. What really caught everyone's attention was when Brian explained that it's not even primarily about the actual acting itself, though that's obviously important. It's the entire vibe, the atmosphere, the energy that Mommy Nancy brings to the set that transforms the whole experience from just another job into something genuinely enjoyable. Anyone who's ever worked anywhere knows exactly what he's talking about. You can have the best job description in the world, but if the people you're working with make every day feel like a chore, it doesn't matter how good the project is. On the flip side, you can be doing the most challenging, exhausting work, but if you're surrounded by people who lift you up and make you laugh, suddenly those long hours don't feel quite so long. Brian emphasized that when Mommy Nancy is on set, there's this shift that happens. The crew is more relaxed, people are smiling more, and even the director seems less stressed. It's like she brings this calming yet energizing presence that makes everyone want to do their best work not because they have to, but because they genuinely want to. That's a rare quality, and Brian recognized it immediately, understanding that he's not just lucky to be acting alongside talent but lucky to be in an environment where creativity can actually flourish. The last time these two worked together, according to Brian, something magical happened on screen that neither of them fully expected. Chemistry between actors is one of those mysterious things that you can't manufacture or force. Two incredibly talented people can come together and produce something completely flat, while sometimes unexpected pairings create absolute fire. When Brian and Mommy Nancy first collaborated, audiences noticed something special. Their scenes had this natural flow, this authenticity that made viewers forget they were watching actors playing roles. They genuinely seemed like the characters they were portraying, whether that was mother and son, mentor and student, or whatever relationship the script called for. Brian admitted that he's secretly hoping lightning strikes twice with this new project. There's always that pressure when you're trying to recreate something that worked before. What if it was a fluke? What if the second time doesn't live up to expectations? But instead of being paralyzed by those worries, Brian seems energized by the challenge, confident that whatever they created before wasn't a one-time accident but rather the foundation of something that can be built upon and expanded with each new collaboration. In what might be the most hilarious confession of the entire interview, Brian joked that he doesn't even need coffee on set when Mommy Nancy is around because her energy alone is enough to wake him up and keep him alert throughout those notoriously long filming days. Anyone who's worked on a film set knows that shoots can stretch into absurdly long hours. You're waking up before dawn, getting into makeup and costumes, running through scene after scene, doing multiple takes, adjusting for lighting and sound, and before you know it, the sun has set and you've been working for 14 hours straight. Under those conditions, most people are surviving on pure caffeine and determination. But Brian insisted that Mommy Nancy has this incredible ability to keep everyone around her energized and focused without even trying. It's not like she's running around being overly loud or forcing enthusiasm. It's more subtle than that. It's the way she approaches every scene with genuine interest, the way she engages with her fellow actors between takes, the way she treats everyone from the lead actor to the newest production assistant with equal respect and warmth. That kind of positive energy is infectious, and apparently, it's more effective than any espresso shot you could order from the craft services table. The professionalism and punctuality aspect that Brian mentioned might not sound exciting at first, but anyone who's worked in any creative industry knows just how valuable these qualities are. There are legendary stories in Hollywood and Nollywood alike about diva behavior, actors showing up hours late, throwing tantrums, refusing to come out of their trailers, and generally making everyone's life difficult because they think their talent exempts them from basic professional courtesy. Mommy Nancy is apparently the complete opposite of that nightmare scenario. Brian revealed that she's consistently on time, always prepared, knows her lines, and comes to set ready to work. This might seem like the bare minimum, but in an industry where such behavior isn't always guaranteed, it's actually exceptional. What's more, her reliability and professionalism inspire everyone else to match that standard. When someone of her status and experience shows up prepared and ready to give their best, it raises the bar for everyone else. Suddenly those early morning shoots that Brian mentioned don't feel like punishment. They feel like opportunities to learn from someone who takes their craft seriously, and that shift in perspective changes everything about how you approach your work. The chemistry between these two isn't just visible on camera during the finished product. Brian described how even their rehearsals feel less like work and more like playful banter between people who genuinely enjoy each other's company. Rehearsals can sometimes be awkward, especially when you're working through emotional scenes or trying to figure out blocking and movement. There's a vulnerability in the process, a willingness to look foolish while you experiment with different approaches to a character or scene. Having a scene partner who makes that process feel safe and fun rather than judgmental and stressful is invaluable. Brian talked about how they'll run through a scene, and then immediately break into laughter at something one of them did, or they'll pause to discuss a character motivation and end up on a tangent about something completely unrelated before circling back to the work. That kind of comfortable rapport doesn't develop with everyone. It requires mutual respect, similar senses of humor, and a shared understanding that the work is important but doesn't have to be approached with grim seriousness every single moment. Their rehearsal process sounds like the kind of creative exploration that produces the best performances because actors feel free to take risks and try things they might not attempt in a more rigid environment. Brian really built up the anticipation when he teased that fans should expect a rollercoaster of emotions in this new project, specifically citing the dynamic between him and Mommy Nancy as the driving force behind those intense moments. In other words, get your tissues ready because this collaboration is apparently going to take viewers through the full spectrum of human emotion. One moment you'll be laughing, the next you'll be crying, and before you know it, you'll be on the edge of your seat wondering what happens next. That's the power of two actors who not only understand their individual characters but also understand how those characters interact and affect each other. Brian seemed particularly excited about the range of emotions they'd get to portray, suggesting that this project would showcase dimensions of both their talents that audiences might not have seen before. It's that promise of seeing familiar faces doing something unexpected that has fans already marking their calendars and setting reminders for when this project finally drops. The hype is building, and Brian's enthusiasm is only adding fuel to that fire of anticipation. One of the things Brian admires most about working with Mommy Nancy is her ability to make even the most dramatic, over-the-top scenes feel completely believable and grounded in reality. That's actually much harder than it sounds. Anyone can cry on command or yell dramatically, but making those moments feel authentic rather than performative requires serious skill. Brian admitted that watching her work is genuinely inspiring because she has this talent for finding the truth in every scene, no matter how heightened or theatrical the material might be. She doesn't play emotions at the audience, she experiences them as the character and allows the camera to capture whatever happens. That subtlety and authenticity elevate everything around her, forcing everyone else to match that level of truthfulness. For Brian, being in scenes with someone operating at that level pushes him to dig deeper into his own performance, to find those genuine moments rather than relying on acting tricks or surface-level choices. It's essentially a masterclass happening in real time, and he's smart enough to recognize the learning opportunity and embrace it rather than feeling intimidated. The atmosphere on set apparently involves a lot of laughter between takes, which Brian highlighted as one of his favorite aspects of working with Mommy Nancy. Film sets can be incredibly tense environments. There's money on the line, time pressures, technical challenges, creative disagreements, and the general stress of trying to capture lightning in a bottle while dozens of people watch and wait. In that kind of pressure cooker situation, having moments of genuine levity and joy becomes essential for maintaining sanity and perspective. Brian described how they'll finish an intense dramatic scene, the director will call cut, and within seconds they are cracking jokes and laughing about something completely random. That ability to shift gears, to not carry the emotional weight of heavy scenes into the breaks, creates a much healthier work environment. It also prevents actors from getting too lost in dark character spaces, which can happen when you're spending 12 hours a day portraying trauma, conflict, or sadness. Those moments of laughter serve as pressure release valves, reminding everyone that at the end of the day, they are making entertainment, telling stories, and shouldn't lose themselves completely in the fiction they are creating. Brian openly shared that he learns constantly just by watching Mommy Nancy work, picking up subtle nuances, techniques, and approaches to acting that you simply can't learn in any classroom or workshop. There's book knowledge, and then there's the wisdom that only comes from decades of experience actually doing the thing. Mommy Nancy has been in the industry long enough to have encountered virtually every situation an actor might face. She knows how to adjust the performance for different camera angles, how to modulate energy for the size of a scene, how to work with difficult material, how to collaborate with various directing styles, and countless other skills that only come from years of trial and error. Brian, despite being talented and experienced himself, recognized that he's in the presence of a master and approached the opportunity with the humility and eagerness of a student. He talked about noticing small things she does, like how she uses silence, or the way she listens when it's someone else's line, or her timing on reactions. These aren't flashy techniques that casual viewers would necessarily notice, but they're the building blocks of truly great acting. The fact that Brian is paying attention to these details and actively trying to incorporate them into his own toolkit shows a level of professional dedication that will serve him well throughout his career. According to Brian, working with Mommy Nancy pushes him to bring his absolute A-game every single time they are in a scene together. It's that beautiful kind of competitive motivation that elevates everyone involved. When you're acting opposite someone operating at such a high level, you can't coast or phone it in. You have to match their energy, their commitment, their truthfulness, or the imbalance will be visible on screen. Brian admitted that while this might sound pressuring, it's actually thrilling. It's the difference between playing tennis against someone who barely knows how to hold a racket versus playing against someone who makes you sprint for every point. Sure, the latter is more exhausting, but it's also more satisfying and will improve your game faster than any amount of easy wins. Brian clearly thrives in that environment where excellence is expected and mediocrity isn't an option. Rather than feeling intimidated or inadequate, he feels inspired and motivated to rise to the occasion, which suggests a healthy competitive spirit and strong self-confidence. Those scenes where both actors are giving everything they have, pushing each other to greater heights, are usually the ones that end up being the most memorable and powerful in the final product. The fan reaction to their pairing hasn't gone unnoticed by Brian, who mentioned that audiences genuinely love seeing them together on screen. In an industry where success depends heavily on public reception, knowing that viewers respond positively to your work with a particular co-star is incredibly validating. It also creates a sense of responsibility to deliver on those expectations. Brian seemed genuinely excited about the prospect of giving fans exactly what they enjoy and have been asking for. There's something beautiful about that exchange between artist and audience, where the people creating the content are actually listening to and responding to what viewers want to see. It's not about pandering or losing artistic integrity, It's about recognizing that entertainment is ultimately for the audience, and if you've found a formula or pairing that resonates with people, there's value in exploring that further. The chemistry between Brian and Mommy Nancy clearly struck a chord with viewers, and now they get to explore that dynamic again, hopefully deepening it and taking it in new directions that will satisfy existing fans while potentially winning over new ones who haven't experienced their work together yet. Brian described Mommy Nancy as a mentor-like figure, someone who offers guidance and advice without making it feel like a lecture or condescension. That's a delicate balance to strike. Nobody likes unsolicited advice or feeling like they are being talked down to, especially in a professional setting where ego and pride naturally exist. But apparently, Mommy Nancy has mastered the art of sharing her knowledge in a way that feels supportive rather than critical, encouraging rather than correcting. Brian mentioned instances where she'd pull him aside between scenes to share a thought or perspective, always framing it as a suggestion or observation rather than an instruction. That approach respects the autonomy and talent of her fellow actors while still offering the benefit of her experience. It's the mark of someone secure in their own abilities who doesn't need to diminish others to feel important. For younger actors like Brian who are still developing their craft and building their careers, having access to that kind of mentorship is invaluable. It's the kind of relationship that can shape an entire career trajectory, teaching not just technical skills but also professionalism, work ethic, and how to navigate the industry with grace and integrity. In perhaps one of the most endearing admissions, Brian playfully confessed that he sometimes steals ideas from Mommy Nancy's expressions and gestures to enhance his own performances. Imitation might be the sincerest form of flattery, but in this case, it's also smart professional development. Every actor has their toolkit of physical and vocal choices they can draw upon, and that toolkit is built over years of observing live, other performers, and synthesizing those observations into usable techniques. Brian watching Mommy Nancy work and consciously incorporating elements of her approach into his own performances isn't theft, it's learning from the best. The fact that he admitted this openly, with humor rather than embarrassment, shows both his humility and his understanding of how skill development actually works. No artist creates in a vacuum. Everyone is influenced by those who came before, those working alongside them, and the culture around them. The key is to absorb those influences and make them your own rather than just copying them wholesale. Brian seems to understand that distinction, taking inspiration from Mommy Nancy's choices and filtering them through his own sensibility to create something that serves his individual performances. Brian revealed that their previous collaboration produced scenes that went viral, becoming the kind of content that people share across social media platforms, discuss in comment sections, and reference in conversations about standout Nollywood moments. He admitted, with a hint of mischievous excitement, that he's secretly hoping to create another buzzworthy collaboration with this new project. Going viral is the modern measure of cultural impact. It means you've created something that resonates so strongly with people that they feel compelled to share it with their own networks. For actors, having scenes from your work circulate widely increases visibility, builds your brand, and proves that you can create moments that capture public attention. Brian understands the value of this kind of exposure and seems motivated by the prospect of recreating that lightning in a bottle moment where a scene becomes more than just part of a movie or series, it becomes a cultural talking point. That ambition, combined with the proven chemistry he shares with Mommy Nancy, suggests this new project has serious potential to deliver exactly the kind of memorable, shareable content that takes over timelines and group chats for days after it drops. The mutual respect between Brian and Mommy Nancy apparently extends well beyond what cameras capture. Brian emphasized that it's genuinely rare to find co-stars who respect each other off-camera just as much as they collaborate well on camera. The entertainment industry is full of stories about actors who have amazing chemistry on screen but can't stand each other in real life, maintaining professionalism for the duration of filming and then never speaking again once the project wraps. That's not the case here. Brian made it clear that his admiration for Mommy Nancy isn't just about her acting abilities, it's about who she is as a person. The way she treats people, the grace with which she carries herself, her work ethic, her attitude toward the craft, all of these things contribute to Brian's respect for her. That foundation of genuine mutual respect creates a different quality of collaboration. There's trust there, an understanding that you're working with someone who has your best interest at heart professionally and personally. That kind of relationship makes taking creative risks easier because you know your scene partner will support you, will catch you if a choice doesn't work, and will celebrate with you when something magical happens. It's the difference between working alongside someone and truly working with someone. Brian described Mommy Nancy's energy as genuinely contagious, explaining that once she arrives on set, everyone else automatically steps up their game. It's not even a conscious decision, it's an automatic response to being in the presence of someone operating at such a high level. Think about group projects you've been part of where one person's enthusiasm and dedication motivated everyone else to contribute more effort. That's essentially what happens when Mommy Nancy is on set. Her commitment to excellence, her positive attitude, her focused approach to the work, all of this create an environment where mediocrity feels impossible. The crew works harder, other actors bring more energy to their performances, and the entire production benefits from this elevation of standards. Brian seemed almost in awe of this ability, recognizing that it's a rare quality that can't be taught or faked. It comes from a genuine love of the craft combined with years of experience and a personality that naturally brings out the best in others. For production companies and directors, having someone like that on set is invaluable because they are essentially getting a motivational coach and quality control specialist without having to hire anyone additional. Despite his own success and growing profile in the industry, Brian admitted something that many young actors might relate to but few would confess publicly: he still gets starstruck by Mommy Nancy sometimes. That feeling of being slightly overwhelmed by working alongside someone whose career and talent you've admired hasn't faded even after collaborating with her before. There's something refreshingly honest about that admission. In an industry where everyone tries to project confidence and act like they belong in any room, Brian acknowledged that respect and slight intimidation can coexist with professional competence. He's good at his job, he knows he's talented, but that doesn't erase the fact that he's working with someone he considers legendary. That combination of confidence in himself and humble recognition of her achievements creates the perfect mindset for learning and growth. If he'd lost that sense of awe, he might become complacent. If he let it overwhelm him, he might not be able to perform at his best. Instead, he's found a balance where the admiration fuels his motivation without undermining his self-belief. Brian made an important point about how working with familiar faces reduces stress on set, creating an environment where he feels comfortable enough to experiment more with his craft. When you're working with someone for the first time, there's always a period of adjustment where you're figuring out their rhythms, their process, how they like to work, and how you fit together. That uncertainty can make actors more cautious, more likely to stick with safe choices rather than taking risks. But when you've already established a working relationship and trust with your scene partner, that safety net allows for greater experimentation. Brian knows how Mommy Nancy works, knows she'll support both choices even if they don't always work, and knows they can quickly adjust and try different approaches without judgment or frustration. That freedom to play, to try things, to potentially fail in the pursuit of finding the best version of a scene, that's where the most interesting and authentic performances often emerge. The comfort level between these two clearly provides that space for creative risk-taking, which should result in performances that feel fresh and surprising rather than calculated or overly safe. Finally, Brian concluded his gushing testimonial by emphasizing that collaborations like this transcend the mere mechanics of acting and become about creating memories, inside jokes, and moments that fans will remember forever. That's really what distinguishes good projects from great ones. Good projects are technically competent, tell their stories effectively, and entertain their audiences. Great projects create cultural moments, generate genuine emotional connections with viewers, and leave lasting impressions that people discuss years later. Brian recognizes that his work with Mommy Nancy has the potential to be the latter. The chemistry they share, the quality they both bring to their performances, and the obvious joy they find in collaborating all combine to create something special that resonates beyond just being another movie or series. Those inside jokes he mentioned, the moment of laughter between takes, the mutual support and respect, all of that bleeds into the final product in subtle ways that audiences can feel even if they can't articulate why. Viewers pick up on authentic relationships between actors. They can tell when people genuinely enjoy working together versus when they're just professionals doing a job. That authenticity is what transforms entertainment into something more meaningful, creating the kind of viewer loyalty and enthusiasm that sustains careers and builds legacies. The entertainment industry can be brutal, competitive, and exhausting, filled with rejection, disappointment, and the constant pressure to prove yourself. In that environment, finding collaborators who make the work joyful rather than just another job is precious. Brian's excitement about working with Mommy Nancy again isn't just about professional advancement or creating content that will look good on his resume. It's about the genuine pleasure of spending time with someone he respects, learning from someone he admires, and creating something together that they can both be proud of. That enthusiasm is palpable in every interview clip, every social media post, and every behind-the-scenes photo that's been released. Fans can feel it, and that's why anticipation for this project is building to such impressive levels. When the people creating content are genuinely excited about what they are making, that excitement tends to translate into the final product and into audience reception. What makes Brian's candid appreciation even more impactful is the contrast with how celebrity culture usually operates. We are so accustomed to manufactured narratives, strategic public relations moves, and carefully crafted images that genuine enthusiasm can almost seem suspicious. But Brian's excitement about this collaboration feels authentic precisely because it's not polished or calculated. He's not hitting talking points from a publicist's memo, he's genuinely geeking out about getting to work with someone he considers exceptional. That unfiltered enthusiasm is refreshing in a landscape where everything often feels carefully managed and strategic. It reminds audiences that despite the business aspect of entertainment, there's still artistry, passion, and human connection at the core of these projects. The relationships between actors, the mentorships that develop, the collaborations that push everyone involved to be better, these are the elements that elevate entertainment from product to art. The timing of this collaboration also couldn't be better. Both Brian and Mommy Nancy are at interesting points in their respective careers. She's a veteran with decades of experience and legendary status in Nollywood, while he's part of a newer generation of actors who are reshaping what Nigerian cinema looks like and what it can accomplish. Their collaboration represents a beautiful bridge between generations, a passing of knowledge from experienced master to eager student, while also allowing the veteran to stay current and relevant by working with fresh talent bringing new perspectives. It's symbiotic in the best way, with both parties benefiting from what the other brings to the table. Brian gets mentorship, guidance, and the professional boost of being associated with someone of Mommy Nancy's stature. She gets the energy, contemporary approach, and fresh perspectives that younger actors bring. Together, they create something that neither could achieve alone, combining the wisdom of experience with the innovation of youth. The anticipation surrounding this project also speaks to something larger about Nollywood's evolution and growing global profile. Nigerian cinema has been gaining international recognition, winning awards, streaming on global platforms, and attracting audiences far beyond the continent. Projects featuring beloved veteran actors alongside rising stars represent the kind of multi-generational appeal that can reach both longtime Nollywood fans and new viewers just discovering the industry. Brian's excitement and the subsequent buzz being generated online demonstrate how social media and direct artist-to-fan communication have changed how projects are marketed and how anticipation is built. Rather than relying solely on traditional promotional materials, actors can now create genuine excitement simply by sharing their authentic enthusiasm and behind-the-scenes glimpses into what they are creating. That direct line of communication makes fans feel more invested in projects before they even see a single frame of finished footage. The production quality expectations for Nollywood projects have also increased dramatically in recent years, with audiences demanding better cinematography, sound design, writing, and overall production values. Collaborations between talented actors like Brian and Mommy Nancy raise expectations even higher because fans know these actors won't attach themselves to subpar projects. Their involvement signals that the writing is strong, the direction is competent, and the overall production will meet certain quality standards. That implicit guarantee makes the anticipation even more intense because viewers are expecting not just good performances but an entire package that showcases those performances in the best possible light. The pressure is on not just for Brian and Mommy Nancy to deliver great work, but for everyone involved in the production to match that standard and create something worthy of the talent involved. Brian's openness about the learning opportunities this collaboration provides also highlights an important aspect of artistic development that doesn't always get sufficient attention. Actors aren't finished products the moment they book their first role or achieve a certain level of success. Like any craft, acting requires continuous learning, refinement, and evolution. The best actors remain students of their craft throughout their entire careers, always looking for opportunities to improve, to try new approaches, to challenge themselves. Brian's willingness to absorb knowledge from Mommy Nancy, to watch how she works and incorporate lessons into his own performances, demonstrates the kind of growth mindset that separates good actors from great ones. It's that combination of natural talent, learned skill, and continuous improvement that builds lasting careers and creates bodies of work that remain relevant and impressive across decades. The social media reaction to Brian's comments has been overwhelmingly positive, with fans flooding comment sections with their own excitement about this collaboration. People are sharing their favorite moments from the previous Brian and Mommy Nancy project, speculating about what this new one might involve, and generally expressing the kind of enthusiasm that makes all the hard work of creating entertainment worthwhile. For actors and creators, seeing that level of engagement and anticipation has to be incredibly gratifying. It validates the work, confirms that audiences are paying attention and care about what's being created, and builds momentum that can help ensure a project's success once it's finally released. The conversation surrounding this collaboration has already generated significant buzz, and not a single frame of footage has been shown publicly yet. That's the power of authentic enthusiasm, strong reputations, and audiences who feel genuinely invested in the artists they follow. As production continues and more details emerge about this project, the anticipation will likely only intensify. Every behind-the-scenes photo, every cryptic social media post, every interview where either Brian or Mommy Nancy mentions the work will be analyzed and discussed by fans eager for any additional information. That sustained engagement across the entire production and marketing cycle is exactly what modern entertainment projects need to cut through the noise of countless competing options for audience attention. In an age where viewers have unlimited choices about what to watch, creating genuine excitement and emotional investment before a project even releases has become essential to success. Brian's genuine enthusiasm and willingness to share his excitement has done more to generate interest in this collaboration than any traditional marketing campaign probably could have accomplished. So there you have it, gist lovers. Brian Okwara is absolutely thrilled to be working with Mommy Nancy again, and honestly, after hearing all the reasons why, can you blame him? From the incredible on-set chemistry to the learning opportunities, from the fun atmosphere to the creative push to bring his A-game, this collaboration seems to be hitting all the right notes. If you're as excited as we are about this project and want to see these two talented actors bringing magic to the screen again, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any updates as more information drops. Hit that like button if you appreciate actors who genuinely respect and learn from each other rather than treating co-stars as competition. Drop a comment telling us about your favorite Brian Okwara or Mommy Nancy moment, or better yet, tell us about a time you worked with someone who inspired you to be better at what you do. We all have that one colleague or collaborator who pushed us to level up, and there's something beautiful about recognizing and celebrating those relationships. Share this video with your Nollywood-loving friends who need to know about this exciting collaboration, because trust us, they'll want to be part of the conversation when this project finally drops. And keep it locked to this channel because we'll be bringing you all the behind-the-scenes details, updates, and exclusive gist about this and every other exciting development in Nollywood. Until next time, remember that the best collaborations happen when talented people genuinely respect and inspire each other. Peace out, and stay tuned for more premium gist.